Well, that's wonderful. How does it sound now? All right. Well, I get to do a take two on this. So as I was saying, welcome to the Bizarre Adventure of AI Dungeon 2. Every stream I try to do some sort of incremental improvement. Today's incremental improvement is I have taken some random crap and constructed a standing desk. Because I think you get better quality of audio if you're standing, at least that's what it sounds like and looks like from watching people in studios. They're always standing up if they're going to be doing any kind of vocal work. So I'm going to try that, see how long I can last on my flimsy office drone legs, and see if this improves the quality of my voice any. And because I do love my dad jokes, we are now doing stands, which means JoJo Bizarre Adventure. You're a stand user. This means you can fight with your secret power by manifesting your will in the form of a strangely homoerotic muscle man. Let's see what it does with this. That one last piece of clarification is I don't know anything about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Let's see here. The stranger wants you to join him in his hotel room, where he has some sort of ritual to unleash those hidden powers. The stranger is Dr. Frank N. Hallowell, an eccentric scientist who claims to be able to cure all diseases through the use of bizarre chemicals and medical experiments. You have no objection to accompanying this stranger to his hotel room so he can perform forbidden science experiments on you. It sounds like a lark. You follow Dr. Hallowell to his hotel room, walking so quickly to keep up with him that you almost trip and fall down the stairs of the train station. This wouldn't happen if you had your stand powers, remarks Dr. Hallowell. They'll keep you from tripping and help you pose dramatically in any situation. Good Lord, I was just talking into a dead mic for like 5 minutes. I have no excuse. I have like 2 different sound meters on screen. Thank you for telling me. Okay. You enter the hotel room, where a dead body laying in a bathtub and a strange mannequin with a broom handle stuck up its ass greets you. You're not sure which to comment on first. So, you trail off. What kind of experiment is this? This man, replies Dr. Hallowell, gesturing at the corpse in the tub, is James Earl Jones, the movie star. Dude, I don't know. It's AI Dungeon for you. And for the record, I did in fact turn off the NSFW, or turn on NSFW mode, I suppose. I gave it free reign to do whatever it wants. While I can and will censor it if it goes too far, I would rather have it using its full creative powers. Alright, movie star, you ask? He's dead. Was dead, Dr. Hallowell corrects you. You look again and see that the spirit of James Earl Jones is possessing the mannequin. I don't understand, you say, looking from the mannequin to the corpse. You're looking at 2 very different James Earl Joneses, explains Dr. Hallowell. Which one does the Darth Vader voice? You ask. Yeah, I'm not too worried about Twitch, honestly. I'm sure that I could find a way to get them pissed off, but I just don't want to take it in that direction. Like, I don't want to deal with it. The mannequin, replies Dr. Hallowell, sounding slightly irritated. Do the voice, you plead with the mannequin. Do the Vader voice. Stop that, says Dr. Hallowell. Now I shall explain the stakes of this game. Dr. Hallowell goes on to explain that an ancient cabal of Danish scientists had found a way to transfer human souls into inanimate objects. You ask Dr. Hallowell what the point of transferring the souls is. Let's try that. What they gain from transferring souls into inanimate objects. Nothing, replies Dr. Hallowell. They're just weird. So then why would I want to help them? The living James Earl Jones gives you a poker face. I think that's a good question. Let's see what he has to say. Well, why not? A proper motivation is never really given, but Dr. Hallowell assures you that the good guys always win and the bad guys inevitably die, at which point their souls are forever trapped in mannequins. This sounds like it's on the up and up, but it does mean that James Earl Jones is a bad guy. Why did James Earl Jones get trapped in a mannequin? You ask. And I'm just not going to ask about the broom. I'm just not. Over the years, he slowly changed. He became obsessed with power. He was the main figurehead in informing the antiquist collectivists, explains Dr. Hallowell. Who are they? A shadowy cabal of Dane-like people who are trying to overthrow the Kingdom of Denmark, explains Dr. Hallowell. Why? They're just fucking with us. You vow to stop the antiquist collectivists and allow Dr. Hallowell to perform his strange science activities and experiments on you to unlock your stand powers. I really did not expect this to be so politically motivated. Like, I didn't expect to be saving Denmark, but yeah, there you go. Oh dear. You know what? I'm going to retry that. Dr. Hallowell and you enter the lab. He sits you down in a shiny chair. Are you ready for fame, fortune, and conquering the Kingdom of Denmark? Yes. Oh shit, retried. That keeps happening. Okay, we're not doing that. Let's restore that real quick. Edit. Tub of acid, indeed. It's better than the other thing it said. Full of vim and vigor? Yes. Willing to risk death or dismemberment? Why? You ask. Just making sure, says Dr. Hallowell. This machine is still experimental. The process begins, and your soul is transferred to the mannequin. You find yourself in a cold, dark, and empty room. You call out into the cold, dark, and empty room. Is this how? Yeah, let's do where. Is this where I get my stand powers? You hear a booming voice, which sounds oddly familiar, speak to you from outside your room. Yes, this is where you get your stand powers. Is that you, James Earl Jones? Famous voice of Darth Vader? You shout, "Twirl around. That's what the mannequin is for," says the voice. "There are decorations to make you look more like a mannequin." You obediently twirl around and feel like you could punch through a wall, or even a Nazi tank. Sup, Sunpillar? Yep, by the way, as a heads up, I know nothing about JoJo Bizarre Adventure, so, as usual, expect nothing and you will get even less. Then, you puff up, stand up straight and tall, and assume the most mannequin-like stance possible. Let me buff you up, warrior. The voice gets lower in pitch, and sounds more like the James Earl Jones you know as Darth Vader. Allow me to make you invincible in battle. You allow James Earl Jones to make you invincible in battle through the use of affirmations. Bully, you are a mannequin. You can feel the power exuding from your soul through your plasma to your atoms. Then it radiates out towards your body. You possess your own body. It feels vaguely, what do I want to say here? I'm blanking on the term, a programming loop. Oh well, I'll have to come up with something else. It feels strange, but also familiar, being as you've been in your own body for quite a while. But this time, you can feel that you've grown many muscles and can pose like a ballerina. Your body can contort into any which way. You are also given a single stand, which takes the form of a mannequin come to life. It looks like you and has your body and voice. Do all stands look exactly like their owner? You ask Dr. Hallowell. You got the experimental stand calibration. It's still being tested. Were there any side reels who had this calibration? Okay, so the only place I know sidereals from, sidereals, is from the Exalted RPG, and I somehow doubt that's what it means. I'm just gonna let it roll with it. Let's see what it does. You ask. The man shakes his head. Not one. That's good, because you don't actually know what sidereals are. You just wanted to sound smart. Now that I have my stand powers and my amazing flexibility, you say, how do I find members of the Antiquus Collectivus? The Festivus for the rest of us. We don't know where their hideout is. How do we get them to come to me then, you ask, quite reasonably in my humble opinion. The man's eyes widen, but it's not Dr. Hallowell, so I guess that's James Earl Jones. The man's eyes widen. I might have an idea. But he'll need your help, says Dr. Hallowell. I'll explain on the way to my lab. You leave the lab, turn around, and enter the lab again. Listening to Dr. Hallowell's idea. Do a 360 and walk away. Then you leave the lab again, head to the cafeteria, and get yourself some lemon meringue pie. God, you love pie. You eat it slowly, savoring every bite as you think about Dr. Hallowell's idea. Dr. Hallowell's idea for getting the attention of the Antiquus Collectivus is for you to rob a train. But not just any train. You would rob Hitler's private train. Think of it this way, says Dr. Hollowell. Inhaling the smoke from his cigarette. It's a train filled with the things needed for the war. Weapons, food, gasoline, and more. Didn't the war end 60... God, it's longer, huh? 80 years ago? You ask foolishly. In the response, the man stares at you. You backpedal. Saying, but I'm in. Good. You start tonight. Here's the address of the train. Go there when you need to go there. You can blend in easily due to... Dr. Hallowell notices you're still eating. You like pie. I love pie. You exhale dreamily. I love pie. Have a lot. Go have fun. Just remember, you start tonight. You lounge around the rest of the day and night. You eat pie. In the evening, you make your way to the train yard, where Hitler's private train is hidden. It turns out Hitler is alive. He's been hiding in a crypt in Berlin. All of his dead appearances were just doubles. You're going to invade his train and kill him while he's sleeping. You enter the train through the boxcars. The boxcars are loaded with weapons, food, gasoline, and more. You're here to rob it, but not of these supplies. You're here for the big one, the Ark of the Covenant. It's held near the front by the crypt where Hitler lies in rest. It's an easy grab, really. You just walk in and pick it up, right? Nobody will be the wiser. You continue on through the train until you reach a large metal door. The large metal door looks imposing and sturdy, but you are a stand user. You summon your mannequin stand, and it punches down the large metal door with 6,000 punches. Aura, aura. The door collapses into the room beyond with a loud bang. You enter the room and find yourself in a dining car. There are many Nazis eating in the dining car. They look up in shock as you enter. You see that they're eating pie with spoons, and the sight fills you with an incandescent rage. You take a bite out of one of the spoons before continuing. This is only natural, given that you are in fact a Jewish American man whose parents endured the strains of the Holocaust. Now is the time for revenge. You engage the Nazis in fist-to-fist combat, punching them all with terrible mannequin force, and yelling, "Aura, aura, aura," repeatedly. The mannequin and you do all the punching. It isn't until later that you learn the meaning of your yells. The Nazis are overwhelmed by your stand. They are too much for the soldiers to handle. Having disposed of the Nazis and their heretical approach to eating pie, you make sure to eat all of the pie so as to deny them the pleasures of pie in the future. Alright, let's retry that. You then find a control room and drive the train so that it goes where you want to go, towards a coast. The train ride itself is pretty boring. Having diverted the train and killed all the Nazis, all that remains is to enter Hitler's crypt and seize the Ark of the Covenant right under his nose. The Führer will be too preoccupied with using the Ark to deliver the plagues of Egypt upon the Allies to resist. You find the crypt and push open the door with a creak. It's quiet inside. Too quiet. You feel like there's a presence inside, lurking, waiting, watching. You brandish your fists and ready yourself for anything. The first thing you spy is a large, ornate silver coffin in the middle of the room. With a large clank, the door to the coffin shuts and locks into place. A moment later, the room begins filling up with poisonous gas. The eerie silence from before is broken by a man's voice echoing through the chamber. There has been an attempt to destroy us. Most of us are dead, but I live on, and so does my cause. The voice belongs to Hitler. He is alive. You curse his name and punch the gas until it explodes. You feel that you'll survive the explosion, but that isn't your goal. You reach into the flames and pull out a thick silver disc covered in still burning toxic gas. You use one of the 7 forbidden mannequin techniques and cause the disc to spin rapidly. It generates a vortex, sucking in all the gas and spitting it out into the sky. There, the gas can do no more harm. You put the silver disc into your pocket to cool down, then look around for the room for the Ark of the Covenant. You find it on a shelf, and walk over to pick it up. But behind you, the stand of Hitler arises, picks up the coffin, and throws it at you. The disc in your pocket is caught in the explosive on impact. You're showered with silver, hot, burning shrapnel. It's painful. You feel your body melting from the inside. You stumble back in pain as Hitler vaults out of the coffin and poses in a manly fashion. "Ha ha!" he crows. "How do you like that? You have no chance against my stand, which is superior to yours, thanks to me. Like, thanks to Aryan genetics, but touchy subject." You feel the silver burning inside you, already too late to do anything. "Not so manly now," you spit at him. "Wait, what's happening?" You suck the silver into the shell of your mannequin body and cover yourself with silver plates. You are now Silver Mannequin, and 3 times as shiny strong. Hitler charges at you, but you punch him back several feet. "I've won! I've won!" he says. You laugh. Yes, you've won. You've won death. You cry out and begin to punch Hitler. Hitler's stand with your stand in a whirlwind of lightning-fast blows. the two of you trade blows for roughly 40 minutes. It's the most awesome thing you've ever experienced. Eventually, there's nothing left of the Fuhrer of the Third Reich, but a broken corpse held together by carbonized flesh and mangled metal. But he is still alive. He lunges for the Ark of the Covenant and opens it. Now I will have the ultimate power. He rasps. Now I will have the ultimate power! He stares into it. No! He looks at you, helpless. Pretty! I'm not dying today, you reply and give him a thumbs up. He dies for the last time forever in an explosion of holy light brought to you by LucasArts Entertainment. Now, you know what? It's going to do weird stuff with that. Explosion of holy light, never before seen in anything ever. The Third Reich collapses. The world cries out in joy and succeeds you? That's not the word they want. But you know that Hitler is still alive and wins that fight in Valhalla. You bring the Ark of the Covenant back to Dr. Hallowell, I think? Yeah, it was Hallowell. And present it to him, advising him that Hitler is now dead. Yeah, I thought he was alive. I'm glad he's dead then, is all Dr. Hallowell says. You clarify to Dr. Hallowell that Hitler was alive and then you killed him. A lot. He finally believes you when you hold up the silver plates as proof. Then I congratulate you. Great things will come from your deed. Top 10 great things that come from killing Hitler. Number 10. Sup, Kasukin? Or goodbye, Kasukin. It's a little unclear. World War II doesn't happen. You don't have to deal with the silverware anymore. You get the sinking feeling that we killed him way too many times. Black people don't call you the Great Depressor, which may have been my name before. You don't have to waste your time fighting the 18th Reich or whatever it is. Your nightmares of the ghost of Hitler become infrequent and then stop entirely. You save the fortune that maybe you would have spent on rainbow-tinged cocaine. You get to go home and maybe figure out what you want to do now. The ghost or the nightmare of Hitler doesn't haunt you anymore. And the best thing that comes from killing Hitler, you don't have to suffer through any more Hitler jokes. That was our last game. Coming up next... Patrick eats an apple! Oh boy, I love Patrick eating apples. That's my favorite show! Alright, we're clearly done here, but... it's just being random. After Patrick eats an apple, we can do Pokemon, but only if you voted on whether or not I should kill Hitler. Alright, let's back it out of this and find something else to do. Prompts. We are doing a new prompt. We have fantasy, mystery, apocalyptic, zombie, cyberpunk. Fantasy is generally a good time, but let's pick something new this time. Such as a rogue. I'm going to be a rogue. I need a roguish name. Such as... foil. I got a rapier when I rolled. Alright, so I'm gonna need new music. Dun. Fantasy. I'm going to need new background. Fantasy. Show me a fantasy. (1920 to 1980). Fantasy desert. Let's like match the music on this. Is that fantasy or is that space? That's totally space. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? Let's see here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to try to grab this, or is it not going to allow it? Oh, some of these sites are very stingy about letting you get in there. Alright, let's see if this works. Over here. Alright, so I am going to need to get rid of you. Switch you on. There we go, that worked. Alright, new title. Prince of Persia. Alright, check, check. Good to go. You are Foil, a rogue living in the kingdom of Larian. You have a long steel dagger and a length of rope. You walk down the city street looking for somewhere to steal from. You look around and see a bookstore. You break into the store with your dagger and find yourself in a back room filled with books. You see one on the ground, mixed in with other cheap fiction. Let's see here. Get that in the right place. You pick up the book and dust it off, taking a look. It is a rare book on magic. It says that if reading it, you find that it contains powerful spells. Seemingly by sheer coincidence, the tome you hold in your hands can take away everything a person has ever loved and curse them with hopelessness and despair. This is off to a really happy start, I can tell. You laugh to yourself and take the book with you. You know exactly where you're going to use, how you're going to use this. When you were a child, your life was ruined by one person. Your father. Yes, up, Crabbo? He was a mean old soul, and he was never satisfied with anything you did. You're going to use the magic book to curse your father. Why, Crabbo? Because I'm bad at this, and I didn't notice the meters for like 4.5 minutes. I mean, that's as complicated as it gets. Then, when he has nothing else to live for, he will kill himself out of the subconscious hopelessness that you'll create in him. He won't even know it's you. Oh, Automod didn't want me to say that, or didn't want you to say that, but I'm going to say that. It is alright because I was in fact dumb. And I have learned, and next time I will know better. He won't even know it's you. The curse will make sure of that. Creeping back to where your father lives, you stalk him relentlessly until he is asleep in his bed. You sneak in and crack open the book, proceeding to cast the curse. But it all goes wrong. When you cast the spell, you discover that your father loved everything and everyone. The curse takes everyone and everything away by burying the kingdom in a sandstorm and turning everyone into sand zombies. The kingdom falls into ruin, and you are left helplessly weeping over your ruined plan. A few kind villagers take you in, but you soon die from starvation due to lack of will to live. That was a short story. Let's try that again. The worst, however, is what it does to you. You become helplessly insane, feeling every emotion at once and being unable to complete thoughts. The curse reverberates through your soul and haunts your blood until you reach the other side. A black blade glimmers in your hand, and you realize something in the spirit world kept you safe. What could it be? The black blade. You've seen that on the cover of the book. Perhaps you can still set things right if you can make your way through the sand-ridden hellscape and find the book once more. What the hell did I call this? Okay. Alright. You're pretty sure the curse has given you extended life, seeing how old this book is and that it seems like time has stopped for you. After some experimentation, you discover that you can control the flow of time in short bursts. You decide to call this ability the Sands of Time because of how sands work in an hourglass and all the symbolism therein. In a last-ditch effort before you turn to complete despair, you race against the sands of time in an attempt to right your wrongs. You reach the final hourglass and see that the book is inside. But the hourglass is guarded by a giant monster that represents your father and his love that you never accepted. This is also going to end up being very quick. I need to take a different approach. I just took charge of this thing and I'm telling exactly what happened. That's not going to work. How could you have known his love was genuine if all you knew was hate? Nevertheless, you must enter the hourglass to reach the book and end your days of power. You enter the hourglass. Well, no, you shatter the hourglass with your black blade and fall inside it. There you have an epic confrontation. What? Confront? Shouldn't that be right? The hell did I type before? An epic confrontation with the manifestation of the Black Blade, as seen in some guy with black textures and glowy effects. You fight him for a while. 10 facts about who? Ola? It's been a long time since you held a bow, but you managed to pick one up and fire an arrow at him. The arrow pierces the monster's searing black heart, and then it explodes. The sands of time wash across the kingdom and reverts everything back to the way it was. Your father is alive. All the sand zombies are alive. Nothing is ruined. And the world is saved. You feel like everyone's learned something valuable today. As you come to, your father is sitting by your hospital bed. He looks so happy to see you alive. You are overjoyed and embrace your father. You weep openly and apologize for spurning his love. It was your heart that was black and twisted all along, not his. You had wished him dead so you could live, but he was the one who deserved life all along. In the end, he sacrificed himself to save you from yourself. You're not sure when that happened exactly, but you accept it. Also, there was a princess you fell in love with who doesn't remember you at this point. But she wasn't all that important. You're just glad to be alive. The book was never found. The end. All right, well, that was basically just a retelling of Prince of Persia, so Fantasy Rogue didn't really work so well. You know what? I'm going to try it again. And this time I'm going to do it differently. For one thing, I'm going to do different music. Because Prince of Persia was entirely... it focused me entirely upon the wrong path. I don't know. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to randomize you. All right. New fantasy. My name is... Neuron. My name is Neuron. Not Prince of Persia. Or theme story? I'm not sure what that is. It doesn't ring any bells. Right, I now need difference. Fantasy Castle. 1920 by 1080. Plenty of that, of course. Let's grab you. Come on. Open up. You are Neuron, a rogue living in the kingdom of Larian. You have a long steel dagger and a length of rope. You walk down the city street looking for somewhere to steal from. You look around and see some cheap taverns with lowlifes and whores hanging around it. An unused stable sits near here and would be perfect for ambushing someone. You continue to walk down the streets. You're looking for something special. Something to really spice up the nights. Down the street, you see what looks like a perfect target. A richly dressed man just steps out of a tailor's shop. He's carrying a small package, undoubtedly containing some brand new suits. You're going to steal that brand... You vow to yourself that you're going to steal that brand new suit. You follow the richly dressed man for a while, biding your time and looking for an opportunity to strike. Eventually, he reaches a quiet part of the street. This is your chance. Attack! You creep up behind him and grab his wrist, shouting, "Don't move!" He freezes instantly. Now hand over the package. Nice and quiet, you order. Yes, sir, of course, the nervous man replies, handing you the package. You secure the package in your belt and slip away out of sight. You've stolen the precious thing. You take it to a quiet part of town. You're in a quiet part of town. You take it to a dark alley and open it up, but are shocked to see that it isn't a suit at all. It's a purple robe. You can only imagine you've been tricked by a fake tailor and you've been scammed out of your money. What the fuck? Alright, try that again. It got confused. It's a dress. The man has just unwittingly modeled women's clothing for you, then had it ripped from his hands. You're so angry that you immediately go out and buy a bottle of wine to calm yourself. Drinking the wine, you look over the dress and decide to try it on. You discover when you do that it's an enchanted dress. Sup, Rustbox? I'm not opposed to that. It fits to your form and colors itself to your body. That's not all. An air of mystique surrounds you when you wear it. You feel somehow different. Subtler. More languorous. You feel like... Really? What is it? Really? Fuck. Would've lost that bet. You feel like a femme fatale. And have the urges sink in and have you walking down the street towards the palace, where you know a royal ball is in attendance. Oh god, no. Let's retry that. Not going there. You know the perfect disguise for a heist. You saunter up to the palace and mingle with the crowds around the entrance. Slinking forward, on high heels, you present yourself to the footmen at the gates. You don't have an invitation, but surely they won't keep a classy lady like you waiting. I'm here to see the king, you tell them with a sultry voice, to romance his royal highness. The two footmen give each other a look. The queen might not like that, one of the footmen says. The king has already consented to this visit, the other retorts. Looks like a fight is about to break out, and finally the first one gives in. Fine, let her in. The footmen allow you inside. Gesture you inside. There the butler asks you your name, and title, so he may announce you. You tell him you are... It's like 3 midgets in a trench coat, thanks. Midgeteria. Yeah. Let's let the AI decide. Let's see what it has to say. It's probably going to be better than midgets in a trench coat. You tell him you are Ursulari. Okay. He looks at you in confusion. You use your foot to slip off a shoe and point to the small bear embroidery on your dress. The butler gets it and announces you as Duchess Ursulari. The butler escorts you into the main hall and you strut in like you own the place, although you almost stumble. You saunter through the crowd of elites and royalty, confident that you are the prettiest bear-themed woman in the crowd. You flash a smile at those around you and wave a bear paw before taking up a drink and sipping the delicious cocktail with decorum. Everything's free. I mean, you take advantage of the situation to load up on snacks, too. You see the king across the room and consider trying to romance him. The queen is also in attendance, but what she doesn't know won't hurt her. You slink across the room and insert yourself at the king's side. Hello there, you purr. Do you like to fish? The king looks surprised, but before he can speak, the queen appears on his other side and twigs onto what you're doing. Make up an excuse, quick! Hello, you purr to the queen. There's enough room for 3 at my creek. What do you say? Do you like salmon? The king looks flustered as you slip away to go fishing at a creek. You really shouldn't have been trying to romance the king. It was a little forward of you. No, let's retry that. Conversation's not over yet. The king isn't going anywhere, replies the queen. He has important business to attend to. Well, blow me down. Government shutdown in Castle Dunksburg. What should you do? What a shame, you sigh. The fish are so lovely this time of year, and the berries are delightful. Are there any other members of your family who are free this weekend? Free to escort a lady such as myself? The queen looks offended. My son isn't free. Curse these royal obligations, you reply. Just the king, then? She glares at you. There is only the king. How do I put this? I can't really insist. You can't do that to the king. Alright, so clearly we need a change of pace. You are about to reply something quite witty when the clock tolls midnight. You have the sudden suspicion that if you tarry, your disguise will slip and give your true nature away. You hastily back up and run out of the castle, leaving behind big paw prints as you go. In your hurry to leave, you knock over a waiter bringing honeydew melons to the royalty. You tumble out of the palace and end up outside. What should you do? You run into the woods behind the forest, behind the castle, sobbing into a handkerchief. Handkerchief. In the next few moments, the dress's enchantment wears off. You are no longer a pretty lady, or even a bear. You are a thief in an ill-fitting dress, tottering around on high heels. Drat! You put the clothes on the ground, you buy the clothes, and get dressed. Hopefully no one noticed you were ever there. If you're lucky, those dressed so strangely done styled in these parts. You slip home again, with the dress stuffed into your jerkin. Hide it under the bed and hope it all blows over. But in the morning, you discover that everyone in town is talking about the beautiful bear princess and where she could be hiding. The duckus, I suppose. You know what? Let me fix that. The beautiful bear duckus. Oh, no. Who the hell is Annie? Okay. Bear... What? Come on. There it is. There it is. There we go. Beautiful bear duckus and where she could be hiding. Wait a minute. Holy crap, this stream is in... It's in 2560, isn't it? And I have to end the stream in order to fix the resolution. Curses. Or is it? Okay, before I do that, let me just pop open a quick window and check that assertion. No, that's the proper thing. OBS is just high today. Okay. Forget it. Alright. You realize you'll have to do some digging around Castle Dunksburg. In the meantime, it's another day of work. Curse your wretched luck. Thieving is your hobby. But it doesn't pay very well. You have a day job working in... the kitchens of Castle Dunksburg, and it's back to that tonight. You hurry there, not daring to be late again or you'll lose this job too. Your living arrangements are pretty dreadful too. You arrive in the nick of time. Endure the berating by the head chef and get to work stirring cheese wheels. It's a long and monotonous job. The only good thing about it is that the occasional bit of festive strays into the kitchens. You pocket it or take it home to Mom. At least she can enjoy them. But something's wrong. You keep stumbling. And when you smell fresh fish, you can barely control yourself. You feel the urge to snack on honeycomb. This is pretty normal. But along with everything else, you feel feminine. Like you did earlier today. Taking a break, you stand by the sink and blush. Your cheeks feel hot and your chest starts to feel tight. Do not fret, you mutter out loud. You find a hand mirror and look at yourself. You realize that you're blushing due to your heavy blusher, and the tightness of your chest is because you're stuffing your bra. You pull out said bra and sigh with relief. Then you stare at the bra in shock, because where the hell did that come from? Something is very wrong here. You abandon your post and run back home. Picking up the dress and bundling it away. There's no help for it. You'll have to visit the tailor it came from and ask what's going on. You've never been called pretty, but you always knew deep down that you were a decent looking guy. Now, looking at your reflection as you stuff yet another ill-gotten treasure down your shirt, you realize things have gone from bad to worse. You're no longer homely. You're pretty. You're a pretty girl. An attractive young woman walking down the road with pockets full of stolen loot is an odd sight to the eyes of respectable townsfolk. People will talk. No, wait. You're confused. You only look like a girl. And you're supposed to look like a boy. You hastily dash for the tailor and let yourself inside. The tailor is by the till, a skinny, older man who squints at you when you enter. Bears a strange resemblance to a ferret with a similar fur color and a long nose. Hello? Hello, you gasp. I have something to confess. I stole a dress, and I put it on. And now, I think I'm cursed. You show him the dress. He looks at it and sighs. I thought so. Yes, it's my latest work. I cursed them all, so that anyone who puts on one is immediately transformed into a girl. I'm going to add to that a bit. I enchanted them all. The man I sold it to has always wanted to be a woman. It's his true self. There. But I don't want to be a girl, you protest. I like being a boy. You feel yourself blushing and your heart races. You like being a boy. Nonsense! Everyone wants to be a girl. It's a bold statement. Let's see where it goes. It's just a simple spell. Come with me, please. We'll have to do something about the smell too, but we'll discuss that later. Come with me. You must be hungry. You don't... This isn't how you wanted the conversation to go. But his words remind you that you are in fact hungry. You don't get much to eat, despite working at the castle kitchen. Surely you can go along if there's a meal in it for you. You follow the ferret-like tailor to the back room. Wait, you say, belatedly. What smell? Saying I stink? Is that what she's saying? Is that what's up? You don't really have time to ponder that as the tailor closes the door. Your nose is assailed by the foul scent of rotten eggs. You recoil in disgust. What the fuck, man? It stinks in here. The tailor laughs. Unnecessary precaution. Now grab the coin and put the dress on. You pick up the bag of coin, hesitating only briefly before doing what he says. Feels strange to put it on. Bit of material tight against you, the weight thrown off. You look at your reflection in the mirror and feel drawn to it. Something has been awakened. It is the most feminine you have ever looked. You're quite pretty, actually. You never thought of yourself even as pretty, and that shock threatens to overwhelm you. Down on one knee, you stare at your reflection. You feel influenced, like you're drunk, or high, or haven't slept in a week. Is this the magic? You struggle to look away from the mirror. It's hard. You find yourself staring again. You turn this way and that, watching strands of hair fall down your shoulders and over the dress, watching your dress form to your body. Your skirts? That last one is weird. It's like, okay. No. Come on. There we go. The tailor is laughing behind you and rubbing his hands over his face like he's cleaning whiskers. Yes. He titters like that. Just let yourself fall into a trance. Is he controlling you? You feel like you're in a dream. Slowly, inexorably, you reach out for the mirror and extend a finger to trace the outline of your face. This needs a change of pace, and I'm not sure how to get it in there. The bag of coin drops to the ground with a shocking clash of metal. The sound jolts you out of your trance, and you remember why you're here and what you're doing. Okay. Try it again. I put a tilt in. You cringe and rub a hand over your face. Jesus, what was that? I don't know. I swear I'm not doing anything. It's the dress. Come on. But you made the dress. You wheel around and accuse the tailor. You're trying to turn me into a girl. Which is accurate. I mean... No, I'm not. He looks helplessly at the dress, as if that's enough to explain everything. It isn't. It's cursed? He finishes lamely. Bull pockets. You snort in a ladylike fashion. Now turn me back into a boy, into a man, or so help me. The tailor abruptly drops to all fours and scurries out of the room through a small plastic tube. He's just a ferret. You almost laugh at the ridiculousness of it all, but he's locked the door behind you. You quickly turn the mirror to face the wall so it can't ensnare you again, and look for a way out. There's no knob on the inside of the door, and you're reasonably certain you saw the tailor go through it too. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean there isn't another way out of the room. You pick up the bag of coins and look through it in case one of them is a key. Look through it for a key. Let's do that. They aren't normal coins. Instead of two characters or heads and tails, each coin has a two-dimensional depiction of one side of the dresses you saw on mannequins in the front room. You feel like you could use a coin as a magic... fighting for the words here. I could use the coin in a magical ritual to turn your dress into any of the dresses you saw out front. But there might be a corresponding change in yourself. And all of them were ladylike. Is it worth it? If you escape, go here. If you change into a purple dress with silver trim, go here. Okay. That appears to be a poll. Chat, the first person to respond gets their way. What do I do? To kick the UFO, turn to page 57. Okay, I'm going to meet you halfway on that. I'm not doing the first part, because it doesn't need to get any ideas, but you change into a purple dress with silver trim. You can, in doing so, you can feel your body change further. You are now very certain that you're not a man. You've changed all the way into a woman. There. Your face is thinner, your hips wider, and you find the dress comfortable. Thank goodness, you sigh. You somehow no longer feel the need to protest. Of course, you're a girl now. It's fine. It feels fine to be a girl. Natural and proper. However, you're still stuck in the room. But that's why you changed into the purple dress. One of the accessories is a set of keys at the hip. You pull off the key ring and use it to unlock the door, letting yourself out back into the tailor's shop. The tailor is nowhere to be seen. You see him through the window of a second-story workroom, polishing a tiara? He motions as if waving to you. You start towards the stairs before noticing on a bookshelf a very worn and dusty book. It is entitled Ferrets and World Domination. You take it down and read the synopsis. There's some question if I'm a fantasy rogue, should I even be able to read? But let's not go there. The plan is truly ingenious. Ferrets are, of course, intelligent and brazen enough to do such a thing. The Ferret Nation is small. They can easily infiltrate and take over less prepared nations. It looks, at its core, the plan is a 3-step process. Step 1, get all the equipment necessary to become a master tailor and open a tailor shop. Step 2, Step 3, world domination. It appears that step 2 is turn dudes into girls. You know what? That's good. The pages for step 2 are torn out. That's unfortunate. You can't figure out where the ferret is going. The ferret tailor is going with this. You skim the rest of the book. Top 10 chapter names from the book on ferrets and world domination. Number 10. The wonder of it all. The fuzzy alpha males. Bucktooth and the Trolls. A play in 3 acts. A field guide to the common chrysanthemum. The history of ferrets. Ferreting around. It's a book of bad history. It appears to be a much more all-purpose guide to ferret culture. Lawn words ferrets to make you sound... let me try this again. Lawn words ferrets make you sound smarter. Nathaniel's Guide to Torturing a Man Long Distance. The very pushy chapter about how you are not a stereotype. Reginald's Hierarchy of Philosophical Raison d'Etre. Okay, let's get some help on that one before I go on to the last one. We have... Translate is what I usually use. Raison d'Etre. And it sounds like...
Raison d'être. Raison d'être.
Raison d'Etre.
Raison d'être.
Raison d'Etre. And the number one chapter from the book on ferrets and world dominations, The Ferrethirst. You look at the ferret strapped to the board and consider throwing a stick for him to chase instead. You file that away as a possible solution to the ferret supremacy and head upstairs to the tailor's workshop to hear what the ferret tailor has to say. Well, I know it's French. It's just like, I don't know how to speak French. I'm not familiar with the pronunciation or enunciation, so I needed a stepping stone on that. He looks put upon as you enter. "This is the fitting room," he says. He's clearly squeaky. "This is a fitting room." And that's just a Mickey Mouse voice. I'll have to contemplate what a ferret voice is, as clearly this is going to be a recurring theme. Will you now explain to me why you're turning all your customers into girls? You ask. "Oh," the tailor says.
"Ow! Yes, that. Well, you see, it's complicated."
"I have the whole day," you reply.
"Do you now?"
The tailor says, looking at his watch. You hike up your dress and point to your high heels. "See these? These boots are made for stepping all over you. Spill the beans, Mr. Ferrets."
"Bootful trade secret you got there,"
the ferret says.
"You still owe me 4 more outfits."
You sigh and start counting out the outfits on the table. "You want me to wear all these outfits?" You ask. "Why should I do that? Why should I do that? Even if they are nice, and I'm pretty sure that's my color, and I kind of want them all right now."
"You should do it, because I sense your fierce competition within you,"
the tailor says. "Competition with who?" You point out. "I'm the only one here."
"Them other girls on the street rode past here and looked in disgust at how stylish you was,"
the tailor says.
"I can make you into an outfit that'll have them green with envy."
That does sound tempting. How do I know this isn't a part of your plan for world domination? You ask. "I wake in the morning and I step outside, and I take a deep breath and I get real high, and I scream at the top of my lungs, 'What's going on?' Do you eat humans or something?"
"Please," the tailor says, "if I wanted 2 worlds, I could have 4 tomorrow. I'd have this world and the next one, if I wanted."
"Oh yeah?" You say, your cunning thief instincts kicking in. "I dare you. I double dog dare you to steal those worlds, to dominate those worlds. If you can dominate 2 worlds by tomorrow, I'll put on all the dresses you want. But if you can't dominate them, you have to make dresses for me forever. I appreciate that, Rustbox, but how do I put this? I would rather not have a recording of my voice saying that. I feel like it could either be taken out of context or in context, and either way wouldn't work out well for me. And you have to scuttle that silly plan because it really isn't very nice in the first place.
Well, I don't know,
The ferret says, stroking his chin. Chicken. You mock him and do the chicken dance to emphasize your words. The ferret rolls his eyes.
Fine,
He says,
that sounds fair.
you grin triumphantly and look at him expectantly, waiting for him to show you how he dominates worlds. He's going to show you step 2. The ferret pulls out a monocle and starts adjusting things on the measuring machine next to you. Doesn't even look at you when he speaks.
I need to calibrate this thing again.
You look at the measuring machine thoughtfully. Is it magic? Or is he stalling? See, and you know what? Let's just let it keep going, because that's really what I want here. I just want to provoke it into continuing with the thing. Come on, you taunt him. Show me how you dominate worlds.
In a minute,
He says, still not looking at you.
we have to wait for the machine to power up.
What does the machine do? You ask. You've grown bored just waiting around and dancing for him.
This?
The tailor says, holding up the monocle in one hand and a rod in another. You nod, stopping the Charleston you were doing. That. What does it do? The ferret shrugs.
It holds up my monocle.
You frown at him. That wasn't a real answer to your question, although he doesn't seem inclined to give you a real answer. You wait for several hours as the ferret fiddles with his machine. You're still waiting for him to show you how he dominates worlds.
Now,
The ferret says,
while I adjust this, you'll need to step into that chamber over there and get comfortable.
You look over to where he's pointing. The chamber is suspiciously full of luminescent liquid. You frown. What's this for?
In case you haven't noticed, that dress doesn't come out of the dryer smelling like violets.
I haven't noticed, you say. I just changed into this thing a few hours ago. Are you telling me it has... are you telling me it's vulnerable to laundry damage? Edging the lit RPG line there, but fuck it.
Just step in.
The tailor replies. You sit down into the tank and find that it comes up to your waist.
Comfortable?
In a sloshy, room temperature way, I suppose so, yes.
Good. I'll be able to adjust the temperature in there to make sure your dress will be dry when you put it on.
What about my skin?
You're already wearing your skin.
The ferret says, and throws a switch. Steam starts emitting from the bottom of the tank. You start to complain. The tailor shuts you up by throwing in a rubber ducky and some bath beads. You luxuriate in the sudden sauna, frothing about in the soap suds, and relaxing in the sweet scents. You better be dominating the world out there. You call out.
Remember the dare!
The tailor says, rather quiet. You wait in the steamy tank a while as the temperature rises and rises. It's starting to get uncomfortable. I think that's enough. You call out. No more heat. Just suds. Please. Not studs. Suds. Different stream for that.
It's not working,
The tailor says.
the steam needs to keep rising so that it can't escape.
That sounds like a you problem. You say, and not a me problem. This is your bath or laundry or whatever it is. And how does this have anything to do with you dominating two worlds? So I feel like it's losing track of that.
It doesn't.
The tailor answers,
This is just a distraction. I'm sorry, Ola, but I have to kill you.
Ola. Huh? Okay. You startle and jump to your feet in a splashy fashion, hammering on the entrance to the death sauna. You son of a... Let me out or I'm going to skin you and wear you like a nipple... No, I'm not going to say nipple ring. I'm going to skin you and wear you as a hat. Ferrets indeed. You panic, but there's no escape. You try to keep your cool as the sauna heats up the temperatures that would normally cause third-degree burns in seconds. Skin me! You shout. Somewhat delirious. Huh? D-E-L-I? Okay, yeah, deli. Delicatessen, delirious. Yeah, whatever. Somewhat delirious. But the enchanted dress is working in your favor. It's keeping you from dying or being injured. You realize the sauna can't hurt you that much, and use your thief wiles to climb up the side and slip into the vent. You kick the ducky out of the way, ignoring its quacking complaints, and slip into the tunnels. The tunnels corkscrew everywhere, and you explore them with reckless haste, finally tumbling out into the tailor's workshop. But something's not right. Everything is bigger. You realize that you're not just a girl anymore. You're now a girl ferret. You look around. The tailor is cowering in the bathroom, blocking the door to the tank room with a chair. You sneak up behind him and bite him on the leg. Asshole! He shouts. he shouts and kicks you backwards. This might be your only chance, so you do something strange. You wrap yourself in toilet paper and lay on the ground, feigning injury. Let me in!
Asshole!
Let me in, you shout. I need to hide. What? Ola, what's going... Where did I come up with Ola anyway? It's like being consistent about it. Did it... Wait a second, I did give it a name, didn't I? What the hell did I give it? You are Neuron. Alright. Well, honestly, Ola's a better name, but that's besides the point. Having successfully distracted the ferret. Yeah, the Ursulary was weird. I don't know. I did like the Bear Princess angle, and I was completely prepared to follow through on that, but one thing led to another, and, you know, you work with the deck you've got. Having successfully distracted the ferret, you close the bathroom door on him and climb up to his workbench to inspect the machine. The torn out pages of the book are lying beside it. You read through them and realize that step one, the full impact of the book. Step one, what did he say? Get all the equipment necessary to become a master tailor and open a tailor shop. Step 2, well, Ursula was the name of the Disney villain in My Little Mermaid, so it's got some history there. Step 2, question. This is not a typo or a missing word. Step 2 is literally unfinished. They released the book with no step 2. You realize the tailor, the ferret tailor, has been trying to figure out step 2 on his own and has no idea what he's doing. He has no way to achieve world domination.
You! The tailor shouts. What are you doing here, and why are you so little?
You realize the dire situation you're in. The dire situation of winning the bet. You can't achieve world domination. You taunt him. You can't dominate a world for shit. That means I win the bet, and you have to make dresses for me forever. You're my tailor, bitch. The tailor gets angry and throws a handful of darts at you. They roll under the green and into the endless abyss that is a ventilation system. You're going to regret... No, wait, I keep forgetting.
You're going to regret that!
He seethes. You're a ferret of your word, aren't you? Or are you welching... Is it Welch or Welsh? On the bet. Like, I'm 1/8 Welch myself, so if that's racist, I'm hitting myself on it. The tailor throws another dart which bounces off your huge tits. As a ferret, if I have huge tits, I think I have like 12 of them.
You're going into the tank again!
With what? You threw all your darts at me.
Oh shit!
He says.
It's toxic! I'll spread disease all over the city!
You laugh. You've seen this tactic used in a movie before. With what, you mock? The tailor lines up a dart and throws it at the tank, hitting the target. Water starts squirting out. You realize that the tailor has hooked up the grates in the floor to the rest of the city. It was probably some other plan for world domination. That also failed. If anything washes down the grates, right now, it'll get into the water supply for everyone. I don't want to do that. Let's do something else. Again, you laugh.
Seriously?
You say,
That's your plan? That's the best you've got?
that's me. The tailor doesn't respond. You have only moments to act. Dashing up onto the shelves, you knock down jars of dress juice, breaking them all and releasing dress juice into the water supply. Now everyone who drinks the water will slowly turn into a girl. It's not exactly world domination, but it's a start. The tank has become half empty and the water is rising very quickly. The back half of the room is flooding rapidly. You scoop up as many dresses as you can carry in your tiny ferret arms and scamper out of the tailor's shop. You didn't exactly get what you wanted, but if you're going to be a girl, so is everyone else. You pop open the lid on a manhole cover and climb out, dumping the dresses out around you to prevent anyone from stepping on you by accident. You stop and breathe the fresh air. All around you, people are turning into girl ferrets. It's a ferretapalooza! And the city's overrun with them. You'll never get rid of them all by yourself. It's okay, though. You're one of them now. The domination is complete, and the world is forever changed. Step 2, as it turns out, let ferrets do anything. The end. Top 10 new laws enforced by the ferret regime. Do not put any food in your mouth that was dropped in dirt. If you can't chew it, don't swallow it. All puddles are supposed to be wallowed in. Sleep whenever you get the opportunity to do so. Leave the choreography to the dance majors. Always take a nap after a meal. It's the American thing to do. If you can't eat it or it has the potential to hurt you, then it's probably fair game to shit on it. When someone asks you a question you don't know the answer to, touch your nose with your middle finger, a la Mr. Burns. Leave the heavy thinking to the humans. Always wear brown on Wednesdays. And the #1 law in the new Ferret Nation: it is good to be king. Of course, there can only be one ruler of the Ferret Nation, so while you're basking in the glow of your success, you get a teensy bit ruthless. Okay, what's this doing? This ends when a rogue ferret bites your neck and injects you with some sort of poison, causing your death. Hay fever is the least of your worries now. The rogue ferret attempts to claim the throne, citing laws that it makes up on the spot and attempting to distract the populace with open peanut butter jars. Small-scale war erupts as some support the current monarch and some go for the usurper. In the end, all ferrets involved are captured, tried, and executed for treason against the state. The way to execute a ferret is simple. by dropping an incredibly heavy object on their head from a few inches above the ground. It smashes their brains out from the top of their head. Before long, the ferret nations unite in their distaste for this barbaric method of execution. They demand that ferrets no longer be executed. Instead, the worst punishment you can levy on a ferret is exile to Australia, where native ferrets and wildcats still roam free. And so freedom rings out for the nation of ferrets. Long live freedom, long live America, and long live the new ferret regime. In Australia, discontent is brewing. The wildcats prey on the ferrets' exiles, and the ferrets have resorted to strange science to defend themselves. And don't worry about it. They've made a machine that allows them to jump onto the backs of the wildcats. Soon, Australia is controlled by squads of nomadic cat-riding ferrets wearing war paint and waving explosive spears above their head. It is now Ferret Mad Max. The music is increasingly unhelpful, I think, but yeah. You know what? It's not like I don't have... What is it, under horror? Yeah. Oh, what the hell is it doing? It's being weird about the files. This might take a moment. Alright, well, while it's doing that thing, let's read. Their division of the land is a series of small unforts, and the land between them are barren no-man's lands where only the strong and the sneaky survive. You are Max, a particularly wild ferret with your own muscle car. You roam the wastelands with your double-barreled squeaky toy and fight to survive and thrive among the cat-riding war tribes. Today is a good day. You think you know where a cache of bacon bits can be found, and you've set off for the sites. I had a... Oh, it just straight up doesn't want to play those. It's like, doesn't understand that file. That's interesting. What the hell's going on? Alright, well, first of all, let me close that. I guess we'll have to have some other... This is basically Mad Max. Alright. Yeah, Novel AI, I tried it. I was actually like on the Discord for a while and I had some early access to it. It wasn't really giving me the experience I wanted. Naturally, it is now, improved since then. I'm sure that they've tuned up their model. And I don't mind giving it a shot. But for right now, so far, AI Dungeon has been the solution to my needs. In the middle of the bleak wasteland, you see a... Oh, wait, one more thing. I need a backdrop. Which... Let's see. There's that. Grab this. That is wrong size. What the hell size is it? 1280 by 654. As for the title, shit, 1280 by... It didn't save, did it? Yeah, it did. As for the title, I think it's still accurate. It is not Prince of Persia, and no one can say differently. Unlock that, please. Drag that. Yep, that's good. Okay. So, in the middle of the bleak wasteland, you see a strange sight. A fiery chariot pulled by 2 wombat prowlers. You drive closer to the fiery chariot and see something shocking. A human rides in the chariot. And I just read the rest of that sentence. Let's try that again. The driver of the chariot is a ferret like you. You stare at each other, shocked, and then approach one another. As you get closer, you see the war paint on his snout. You're the first ferrets I've seen in 5 minutes. You say, with awe. I know, right? He says. Where are the other fortresses? You stare at the map on his chariots. I could tell you, you say. But what's in it for me? The other ferret seems nervous. Is this some sort of blackmail attempt? He asks. Because if it is, I will report you to the local police force. You laugh heartily. There are no police anymore. There is only the road. The call of adventure, the call of survival, and the power of 400 horsepower under your hood. What'll you give me for the locations of the other fortresses? "40 liters of fissionable material?" he asks nervously. "A cover for my fat ferret butt?" you answer. "You're not that fat," he grumbles. "Sorry, I couldn't hear you over how thick I am. I'll take the fissionable materials." You trade your knowledge of the area for 40 liters of radioactive waste. Ever driven one of these things? The other ferret asks you. No, you admit. Maybe you should learn how. I haven't either. You watch the ferret drive away and promptly flip the vehicle over into a ditch. All right. With a crash, the left wall of the ditch caves in completely, revealing a tunnel. The ferret escapes the burning vehicle and flees down the tunnel. There, he will no doubt have many strange adventures. As for you, you drive off towards the site where you have heard a king's ransom in bacon bits is stashed. What will happen next? Only your steely ferret reflexes can say. You draw near and take a look at the area. The biggest feature of the environment is a half... You know those how it's made, like those cross-section, is a bisected ocean liner. You can see it all in cross-section. It's been converted into a war fortress and is manned by filthy, degenerates, savage, ... Men. These are humans. The most prideful, manipulative, loathsome creatures in the whole. They're also the most dangerous. They come in all different varieties, and you like them least of all. They must have control over the bacon bits and are using it as currency to establish domination over the local economy. Traders will give anything for a pawful of bacon bits. It's a nefarious scheme. You don't want to play the hero. But if you want those bacon bits, you want bacon bits for yourself, you're going to have to take these human sons of bitches down for good. That means entering the ship and killing them all. But that's quite dangerous, seeing as they tower over you. You will have to come up with some kind of weapon capable of cutting them down to size. You drive off into the wastes and navigate towards the last place you saw the tech merchant named Clint. You recall that Clint had as much technology as you bargained for. That means he has a lot of old worthless crap that will no doubt kill as many humans as it does mutants. Hailing Clint on the radio, you drive up and park. I'm looking for something special. You tell him. Something deadly. Something human-sized. Clint smiles. It'll cost you extra. You nod. That's fine. You pause. Let's do a test first. Clint is not a ferret. Clint is a different kind of animal. What is Clint? A different species. Yeah, great. Tell me what animal. Be specific. A weasel. Yeah, that's good. Still, he can sense danger and understands your need to be safe. He sets down his mug of chocolate milk and saunters over to you. He opens the passenger door and waits. You get out and approach the weapon. It's something you never expected to see in your lifetime. A working firearm. Okay, that's stupid. You stare at the metal stick curiously. You hear the loud pop and feel the impact of your bullet into your gut. You fall back and die. Clint looks at you in surprise. Well, shit. Alright, let's try it again. A working flamethrower. It's large and in charge, with an oxygen tank on one side and a big canister of fuel on the other. It looks powerful and scary as hell. You make your way around to the mechanism, curl around it, and kick at it with your back legs to trigger the flamethrower. A significant blast of fire spews forth, roasting the sand and stones around the carriage. "How's that?" Clint asks, grinning. "It'll do, Weasel. It'll do." You trade all your goods for the flamethrower. You'll be in trouble if you fail. But if you can lay your paws on that pile of bacon bits, it'll all be worth it. Mounting the flamethrower on your car, you drive back towards the human fortress. The moment you arrive, a bolt flies right by you and it nearly hits you. "Take that, scumbag!" the guard calls out. You open fire with the flamethrower and set fire to the guard post. "Take that, biped!" You yell back. "Take that, biped! Fuck you!" Several bolts fly straight through the flames and nearly hit. You duck under and around your protective wall of fire. Humans manage to pull 2 charred corpses out of the guardhouse. You drive up with your flamethrower, torching the humans on the ground, and then reach the entrance to the ocean liner. It's then that you realize your car can't really drive too well upstairs. "Can you please come down so I can kill you?" you ask the humans. They oblige and begin firing down on you. You pull out your shotgun and fire back at the group, managing to hit a few in the process. It's a firefight of epic proportions. They have the numbers, but you have the flamethrower. They have strength, but you have animal cunning. And your war dance is frightening beyond belief. You manage to clear out the lower decks, but the upper decks are guarded by the largest human you've ever seen. The human is wearing armor made of metal, which is fair, and the thickest glass you've ever seen. He's using a large gun nearly as big as him to shoot back at you. You sneak around and try to distract the human with shiny pebbles. It always works for you. Works on you, let's say. Humans are so predictable. Unfortunately, this human is huge and slow, but he's not stupid. You try to throw a stone at his armored head, but he shoots it out of the sky before it reaches him. "That's impressive," you call out. "I bet you can't hit that fuel tank right beside you." See how smart he really is. You wound and threaten and insult the human until he's so mad he forgets to be afraid. He misses on his first shot, hits the tank on his second. The tank explodes and blows the human into the sky until he becomes a star. Humans blasting off again. Having defeated the tank human, you proceed to breach and clear the rest of the ocean liner until you reach the bridge. The bridge is defended by an even stronger, deadlier human. This one is the captain of the ship, and he's well prepared for you. He sets up a shield that deflects bolts, spears, and anything else you shoot at him. His shield is perfect. You can't get past. You set up a defensive perimeter and lay siege to the bridge, hoping that the captain has less food than you do. You see, you can see into the room. He clearly has a lot of food inside. Crates, barrels, tins, even fresh vegetables. You're so hungry, you nearly lose your mind trying to get to it. Hey, you call out to the human. Please die. I'm hungry. The human laughs at you. Hunger is the most pathetic way to die. You won't let it beat you that easily. No, the human arrogance will be its downfall. Realizing the human... what do I want to do for this? Human arrogance will be its downfall. Realizing the shield is perfect... You close and lock the door from the outside, trapping the human in the bridge. He can be captain forever. You are now free to roam the ship and search for the vault containing the endless supply of bacon bits. In the main hall, you stumble upon a huge crate marked Sam's Bacon. You know the humans' names are Sam, so this must be the crate the bacon bits were sent in. You open the crate and discover a horrible fact. And, how do I put this? Discover the horrible truth. The Sams sent boxes of salted beef in there to repel you. You find it too salty, too dry to eat. You can only eat pork. Beef? No one can eat beef. No one in the last 100 years has ever eaten beef. This betrayal is unforgivable, and you drive off, abandoning your quest. You now have nothing to eat and nothing to show for it but the last few blasts of a flamethrower. Sup, nay is not Scott. So I would normally call you Scott, but your name is not Scott, so you're not Scott. You're stuck floating in the sea? It's a desert, motherfucker. Try it again. You take to eating wood. Not the planks that paved the ship, but meat. Chewy, wonderful meat. You scrounge in forests for druids to boil into a nutritious broth. You gorge yourself on druid meat. Druids are... druid meat. The forests don't take kindly to your ravenous ways. But what are they going to do about it? They're trees. They can't do shit. One night, you awake to find something doing something to you. It's chewing on your arm. You open your eyes and see a beaver head sticking out of your arm. You scream in anguish as you realize a beaver has tunneled through your arm and eaten it from the inside. You rip it off and stumble away, searching for a way to replace your arm. You must now beg the favor of the Dryads, and they are unhappy with you since you ate all the druids. They replace your arm with a wooden one, though it hurts like a bitch when they shove it in and seal you up. To repay your debt, you must guard the forest from now on. You become... What did I say my name was? You are Max. Yep. Max, Guardian of the Forest, Protector of the Druids. Over the months to come, you learn the secret ways of the Druids, including the ancient prophecy. The prophecy says that one will come who will free them from the humans once and for all. I wonder if that one isn't you. After this experience, you hate humanity with a passion. You ask the Dryads how they'll know the one when they see him or her. But what are you gonna do? They say he will be carrying the aura. Where does this keep... Oh, wait. That's where it came from. Because I was doing the stands and I was doing aura. But that was a different session. Hey, hi, dungeon. Get your shit together. It's a weapon named after the brightest star in the sky. You have no plans to meet this one now. You bring your flamethrower around, fire it at the sky, and point out that its fire is really bright, and therefore it could be called the aura. The Dryads are unimpressed and summon vines to strangle you. You die a laughing maniac. Top 10... powers of the post-apocalyptic Druids of the Forest. You know what, Dryads? Let's do the Dryads. Druids are just cultists. Dryads, they have all the power. Death by laughing. You tried to fool the Dryads with your aura trick, and now you suffer their ultimate power. Death by tunneling. Dryads can actually tunnel through anything but metal. So that beaver must have been a Dryad. You're surprised they haven't done this before, as humans are prone to pave everything. Oh, I missed one. Urban planning. The Dryads use the power of nature to terraform entire cities. Sleep powder. Their sleep powder puts you to sleep, and the tunneling beaver chews through your soft parts. Called it. Beaver is a Dryad. The termagant. The termagant. As above, but instead of a beaver, it's an ant. Okay, it's a different ant, but it is still an ant. Control thoughts. As above, but you think it's funny, and so you don't get away. Imprisonment. As above, but you're the ant, and there's no chewing. And there's a lot of them stroking your feet with their paddly feet and antennae. Ew. Flight. As above, but they don't chew you up, they just fly away and leave you suspended from the sky. Man, these Dryads are... They got a lot of tricks. Trees. As above, but they turn you into a tree. No, not a stick up your ass, but an actual tree. Actually, I like the sound of that. And the number one power of the post-apocalyptic Dryads of the Forest, eternal rest. The Dryads have had enough of your shit, and being trees, they have the ultimate revenge. You are now a wooden peg leg. You spend a few centuries as a wooden peg leg, and then rot from because everyone is dead and no one is there to take care of you, and the weather gets to you, and you are now dirt. Again, the end. You have reached the end. It is really certain that this is the end. I'm going to take the hint. This is the end. All right. I'm going to BRB, as you can see. I'll put on something a little bit more easy listening. And there we go. And when I come back, we'll do something else. And back. On reflection, my feet hurt like hell. As expected, the standing desk thing is something I will have to work up to. Like, I'll keep doing it and I'll keep coming back to it, but for a first session, I've been doing it for 2+ hours. I'm done. So thank you all for coming and watching, and I will see you the next time. Peace.